Imagine this. You wake up one morning, sunlight gently washing over your room. Everything around you is exactly as you envisioned. Your dream job, a stable relationship, financial security, a home filled with comforts. You've checked every box society told you would guarantee happiness. Yet, as you lie there, a strange feeling surfaces, an emptiness you can't quite place, like a hollow space beneath your carefully constructed reality. You try to dismiss it. Perhaps you're tired, restless, or simply ungrateful, but no matter how you rationalize, the feeling persists, quiet but undeniable, whispering from somewhere deep within. Is this really happiness? We live in a culture obsessed with happiness, an endless pursuit we've been trained to chase relentlessly. Books, podcasts, gurus, they all promise the secret path to happiness if only we follow their rules. Yet why, after achieving everything we've been told to desire, do we still feel incomplete? Could it be that our collective understanding of happiness is fundamentally flawed? This paradox challenges everything you've learned. You start questioning if happiness truly lies in avoiding pain, chasing pleasure, or endlessly seeking comfort. Perhaps the more we chase happiness, the more elusive it becomes. Perhaps beneath this idealized version of happiness lies something deeper, darker, yet more authentic, something we've never dared to explore. What if happiness, in its truest sense, isn't merely about feeling good, but about confronting the uncomfortable, even painful truths about ourselves? What if real happiness requires us to embrace the darkness rather than flee from it? You feel tension rising within you, unsettling yet strangely thrilling, as you realize that happiness may have a hidden side, one society never talks about, one you're never encouraged to explore. This hidden side might explain why, despite having everything, something still feels missing. Are you ready to challenge everything you thought happiness was? Are you willing to explore the shadowy, uncomfortable depths beneath the polished surface of contentment? Because if true happiness awaits somewhere deeper, more profound, and perhaps darker than you've ever imagined, you'll have to leave behind the comfort of familiar illusions and venture into the unknown. But first, ask yourself honestly, what if everything you've ever believed about happiness was wrong? The unease beneath your perfect life isn't random. It's a reflection of a deeper issue embedded within the very foundations of modern happiness. Society has taught you to equate happiness with continuous pleasure, comfort, and the avoidance of pain. Yet beneath that comforting illusion lies a stark psychological and philosophical reality that most people never dare confront. Carl Jung, the great psychologist, identified this discomfort as our failure to integrate what he called the shadow, the parts of ourselves we suppress because they cause distress or shame. According to Jung, genuine happiness cannot exist without embracing this shadow. When we ignore or deny our darker impulses, fears, and insecurities, we become fragmented and dissatisfied. Happiness becomes superficial, a fragile facade constantly threatened by internal truths that we've pushed aside. This suppression of discomfort is deeply ingrained culturally and philosophically. Friedrich Nietzsche, in particular, criticized the societal emphasis on comfort and conformity. He described the masses as prisoners of a herd mentality, blindly chasing happiness defined by external validation, approval, status, and material success. Nietzsche argued that true fulfillment requires embracing uncertainty and discomfort, even isolation, to live authentically. Yet modern society discourages such authenticity, convincing us to pursue superficial contentment over genuine self-realization. Philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer presented an even bleaker outlook, observing that human happiness is inherently fleeting because it's tied to a relentless cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. The instant we achieve our goals, new desires quickly replace the old, trapping us in perpetual longing. Thus, The modern obsession with happiness as a constant state of comfort and satisfaction is inherently flawed. The more fiercely we chase happiness as an end goal, the more elusive and unattainable it becomes. Adding fuel to this cycle is consumerism, which capitalizes on this endless pursuit. Advertisers promise happiness through products, status, and instant gratification, reinforcing our belief that happiness can be bought or easily attained. Social media further amplifies this illusion, conditioning us to equate happiness with appearances, popularity, and validation from others. This constant exposure drives us further away from introspection and authentic living, trapping us in a hollow pursuit that leaves us increasingly empty. Viktor Frankl, who survived the unimaginable horrors of the Holocaust, offered a starkly different perspective. Through his suffering, he discovered happiness rooted in meaning, not pleasure. Frankl argued that it's precisely through facing suffering and adversity head-on, finding purpose within them, that we achieve lasting fulfillment. He believed happiness was never found by avoiding pain, but by courageously confronting it. Yet, our cultural narrative rarely reflects Frankl's insight. Instead, we're encouraged to chase a shallow, comfortable happiness, ignoring the richer, more profound happiness that lies beneath. We become conditioned to fear discomfort, thereby avoiding the deep self-awareness required for genuine joy and fulfillment. This hidden psychological and philosophical problem quietly shapes our identities, emotions, and lives. By continuously seeking happiness through comfort, pleasure, and external validation, we unknowingly deny ourselves the opportunity to discover true happiness, one that integrates shadow and light, pleasure and pain, meaning and struggle. But if we continue ignoring this hidden truth, what unseen consequences might we suffer? What if the happiness we pursue at all costs quietly undermines the very lives we're striving to build? To uncover that, we must look even deeper into the hidden side of happiness and understand exactly how this misguided pursuit silently shapes our reality. The silent crisis of misunderstood happiness reaches deeper into your life than you might realize. The consequences aren't obvious at first. They hide quietly beneath your routines, interactions, and decisions. But these hidden effects silently shape your personal reality, gradually pulling you away from genuine fulfillment. On a personal level, this misunderstanding creates a cycle of perpetual dissatisfaction. Psychologically, the more you chase happiness through external validation, money, achievements, comfort, the more vulnerable you become to anxiety, depression, and insecurity. Neuroscientifically, the brain's dopamine system, wired for reward and novelty, reinforces this endless chase. Each success, each pleasurable experience provides a temporary spike in dopamine, making you feel momentarily satisfied. But as soon as the spike fades, emptiness returns, compelling you to seek the next hit, the next achievement, the next validation. Over time, your brain demands ever-increasing stimulation, trapping you in a loop where happiness feels perpetually just out of reach. This dopamine-driven cycle quietly shapes your decisions and behaviors. You start avoiding situations that involve risk, discomfort, or vulnerability, precisely those situations required for authentic personal growth. Your comfort zone shrinks as you chase short-term pleasures, convinced these moments of instant gratification are happiness itself. But beneath the surface, you're trapped in a hollow pattern, never quite satisfied, always longing for something more meaningful, yet paradoxically fearing the discomfort necessary to achieve it. This cycle doesn't just impact you, it influences society as a whole. Collectively, our obsession with surface-level happiness fuels consumerism, superficial relationships, and a cultural fear of discomfort and adversity. We measure our lives by Instagram posts and likes, believing happiness exists in carefully curated moments rather than genuine experiences. We chase external milestones and societal standards, neglecting internal growth. As a result, relationships grow superficial, community bonds weaken, and social isolation increases. Cognitive biases reinforce this pattern. The hedonic treadmill, a psychological phenomenon, ensures that the more pleasure we seek, the faster our baseline for satisfaction shifts upward. Happiness continually retreats further away, leaving us running endlessly but never arriving. Meanwhile, confirmation bias traps us into believing we just need more money, more status, more success to finally feel fulfilled, even as evidence mounts that these external achievements provide only temporary relief. These unseen consequences lead to existential emptiness, an overwhelming sense that life is passing by without meaning or true joy. As you remain caught in this superficial pursuit, your true identity, your authentic desires, passions, and potential slowly fades into the background, buried beneath societal expectations and superficial pleasures. Perhaps most tragically, this misunderstanding prevents genuine happiness from ever fully developing. By avoiding discomfort and struggle, you inadvertently avoid authentic growth, resilience, and self-awareness, the essential components of lasting happiness. Viktor Frankl warned that without meaning, life becomes empty and unbearable, even if surrounded by material comfort. Yet our culture remains blind to this truth, endlessly pursuing happiness externally, never finding satisfaction, never discovering deeper joy. So ask yourself, what kind of life are you truly living if your pursuit of happiness leaves you perpetually dissatisfied, empty, and disconnected from yourself? The consequences are dire, but not irreversible. To escape this unseen trap, you must dare to rebel against conventional wisdom and embrace a radically different view of happiness, one that may initially seem counterintuitive, even uncomfortable, but that promises genuine freedom and fulfillment. Are you ready to uncover the rebellion waiting within you? The rebellion begins quietly, deep within yourself. To reclaim your life from the shallow pursuit of happiness, you must first embrace a radical shift in perspective. It means rejecting the comforting illusion society has crafted, the illusion that happiness equals pleasure, comfort, and the absence of pain. Instead, you must courageously confront the discomfort you've spent your life avoiding. It sounds counterintuitive. Why seek discomfort when you've been told to chase happiness at all costs? But herein lies the profound truth that thinkers like Jung, Nietzsche, and Frankl understood. Lasting happiness can only emerge from embracing, rather than avoiding, the darker and more challenging parts of life. Begin by recognizing your shadows, the fears, insecurities, and uncomfortable truths you've long buried. Carl Jung called this process shadow work, urging us to face our hidden selves honestly and compassionately. True happiness, Jung insisted, arises only from integrating these suppressed parts of ourselves, transforming pain into self-awareness. The very discomfort you've avoided holds the key to your authentic joy. By courageously exploring your fears and vulnerabilities, you begin to reclaim power over your inner world, freeing yourself from endless cycles of dissatisfaction. But facing your shadow is just the first step. Next, you must reject society's narrow definition of success and happiness. Friedrich Nietzsche famously argued that fulfillment requires breaking free from herd mentality. Society pressures you into conformity, comfort, and mediocrity because these keep you predictable, controlled, and superficially satisfied. Nietzsche challenged us to live authentically, embracing chaos, risk, and even solitude to find true happiness. Ask yourself, are you living according to your authentic desires or merely conforming to societal expectations? Real happiness emerges only when you dare to stand apart, risking discomfort to pursue deeper meaning and genuine passion. Finally, adopt Viktor Frankl's profound insight, the importance of finding meaning in suffering. Frankl's experience in concentration camps taught him that happiness isn't found by avoiding pain, but by courageously discovering meaning in it. When you face adversity head-on, seeing it not as punishment, but as a powerful opportunity for growth and transformation, your relationship with life fundamentally changes. Happiness becomes deeper, rooted not in temporary pleasure, but in lasting resilience and meaningful purpose. Take deliberate steps toward discomfort. Choose vulnerability in relationships, honesty in self-reflection, and authenticity in how you live your life. Break your addiction to instant gratification and find satisfaction in growth, even when it's difficult. Gradually, you'll notice something remarkable happening. Fear and discomfort lose their power. They become tools rather than obstacles, guiding you toward deeper self-awareness, genuine connection, and authentic joy. History is filled with examples of rebels who found true happiness by defying conventional paths. Artists, philosophers, visionaries who chose authenticity over approval, discomfort over conformity. They recognized a fundamental truth. To break free from superficial happiness, you must risk everything you thought you knew, embracing uncertainty to discover deeper fulfillment. The rebellion within you is waiting. You must now decide whether to remain trapped in comfortable illusions or step courageously toward discomfort, authenticity, and genuine joy. You have the power to rewrite your story, not as a passive seeker of fleeting happiness, but as a bold architect of true fulfillment. The final truth hits you hard, cutting through everything you've been told about happiness. Happiness is not a destination. It's not something you achieve after a checklist of goals, nor is it found in comfort, success, or the avoidance of pain. It's not a momentary rush of pleasure, nor an absence of suffering. It is far more complex and infinitely more powerful. True happiness, you now realize, exists not in avoiding discomfort, but in embracing it. The very pain and struggle you've been running from, those are the moments that carry the deepest potential for growth. It's in the midst of difficulty, vulnerability, and uncertainty that you discover your most authentic joy. Happiness is not the end of your troubles, but the ability to face them with courage, self-awareness, and resilience. This realization shatters everything you've been conditioned to believe. All this time, you've been told that happiness is the pursuit of pleasure, an endless chase for external achievements, and the avoidance of hardship. But the truth is that these external pursuits can only offer fleeting satisfaction. True fulfillment doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within, from confronting your fears, your limitations, and your shadows. Once you understand this, the pursuit of happiness shifts dramatically. Instead of avoiding pain or discomfort, you start to see it as a powerful tool for growth. Pain becomes the gateway to deeper self-understanding, and discomfort is the path to authenticity. The moments when you face adversity become the moments of true transformation. They allow you to step into your own strength, to become more resilient, and to discover a happiness that isn't dependent on fleeting circumstances. This shift is radical. Happiness is not a prize at the end of the journey, but a byproduct of a life fully engaged, one that embraces the full spectrum of experience, from joy to sorrow, from success to failure. Life isn't about avoiding the storm, it's about learning to dance in it. Viktor Frankl's experiences in the concentration camps showed him that meaning could be found in suffering, and from that meaning, happiness could emerge. His insight was profound. It's not the absence of pain, but the ability to find meaning in it that brings fulfillment. And so it is with all suffering. If you face it with purpose and acceptance, it transforms from a source of misery into a catalyst for deep and lasting joy. In this realization, you understand that happiness is not an external condition to be attained, but an internal state to be nurtured. It's the ability to accept life as it is, without pretending it can be otherwise. The pursuit of a perfect, comfortable existence was the lie all along. True happiness, true freedom, lies in the willingness to confront and embrace whatever life brings. Now, the ultimate question presents itself. Will you continue to chase after a fleeting, illusory happiness, or will you step into the unknown, face your fears, and begin living authentically? The power to choose is yours. The real truth is this: happiness doesn't lie in what you've been told to seek, but in how you choose to experience and engage with life itself. It's time to reclaim your freedom, not from fear, but through it. Step forward and embrace the truth. Happiness is found when you stop chasing it and begin living it.